We'll catch you next time on Share the Backline.
Oh shit, dude.
Good. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Share the Backline, the podcast where at least two washed up local musicians wax poetic about gripes, triumphs, and the mundane. I am your host, O'Brien.
And Beardley.
First episode of the new year. We're actually recording on the 1st. You'll hear this on the 6th?
Friday?
on the Friday after the 1st, whatever day that is. Can you turn me up on my cans? New word.
New words.
New word I just learned. Yeah, we're excited. We promised you that it would happen.
Time and time again, we said they're coming. They're coming.
We said it would take some time because of the holidays and everything. We decided to start a podcast in October, right before the crazy stress of the holiday season. But we are actually joined today by a guest. He's been a huge part of the San Gabriel Valley hardcore punk scene since '96. Went to San Gabriel High, if I remember correctly.
Well, graduated from there, yeah.
Yeah, he's been a big part of the scene on and off the stage for a long time. Well, since then, now he's doing a Zine internet catalog, kind of like what we're trying to do here, just in a different form, where he's cataloging the scene and the shows and just everything that happened in the area. Things that fucking would surprise you, so have surprised me, like Slayer shows in Almani and shit. Like a lot of cool flyers and stuff. He's making a lot of cool artwork. Please welcome to the show our first guest ever, Eric Valdez.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming down.
Or up.
I mean, yeah, thanks for coming up 5,000 feet.
Yeah, man, that was scary.
You fucking came up here like a boss, man.
I'm so glad that by the time I got off of the freeway onto the 138.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
There used to be somebody put when I moved up here, like maybe a month after I moved up here, somebody put Crimsy on the 138 on that sign.
Crimsy? Is that the nickname for the
Well, you know what I mean.
No, I didn't know that it's oh wow. I just called it like the Crimson Ghost. I didn't know that all the true fiends called it Crimsy.
Crimey. Yeah, somebody put it up there and it looked fucking
like
perfect. Like it looked like it was the sign.
Mm-hmm.
And little by little it faded and you can start to see the arrow behind it and then they just took it off.
Oh, lame.
Somebody's got to put it back up.
Off of the 10, the New Avenue exit. Someone had when I was a kid, if you got off and you're off the 10, real LA shit. So if you get off on the 10, and you're getting on, you're going towards San Gabriel, I think. When you get off the freeway, you used to be able to see this one kind of like, those mailbox stickers, the ones that are really hard to pull off.
Yeah.
So there was one on the sign of a W. And so it said New Wave, and it was up there for at least I remember it definitely when I was in high school.
That's
it was the
fucking
coolest
sick.
shit, and I've always wanted to put one back up there because it's dope.
I remember you wanted to steal one of those the San Gabriel signs, the old like mission ones. Did you ever do it?
No.
I remember seeing a couple of those missing. I'm like, I wonder if it was Eric.
Not yet.
But yeah, again, thanks for coming up here. That was one of the things we were concerned with, because he lives pretty close to the bottom of the mountain, so it's sort of like it's a half-hour drive up. But yeah, having people see what I mean. This guy just taking phone calls.
I got 3 kids, man, and one of them was up until 4 a.m. last night.
Oh, yeah, teeth coming in.
Yeah,
coming in hot.
No, my wife just texted me. She said,
My wife.
She just texted me saying that he poops. I think he was
tell us how
constipated.
old you are without telling us how old you are. My wife.
What are we talking about? That movie came out when I was 15.
Jeez.
Celebrating the 20th anniversary of my 15th birthday, probably.
King of the Hill is 21 years old now.
Whoa.
King of the Hill can legally drink
That ain't right.
Damn it.
Oh yeah. Oh no. We're old. Yeah, man. Tell us what you want to talk about. I know you've been like you said you wanted to keep it fresh while you're coming up here. Keep it, I don't know if you like had this thing. I do the same thing. Like when we started recording, like if I knew we were going to record that day all day long, I would just keep saying what I'm going to say over and over in my head. And then when we hit record,
Sorry.
I say none of it. So I'll just I completely forget everything I thought about talking about that day. Talking about. But yeah, tell us how you got into scene, how you got into the scene, how you got into punk rock and.
Okay, let's see. So it was all through stuff that I heard on K-Rock, pretty much. I got into punk rock in '94 because K-Rock was, excuse me, it's weed cough, not COVID cough.
It's the elevation.
That too. Yeah. I'm getting elevation sickness. So like K-Rock was playing. That was when K-Rock was playing Offspring and Green Day and Bad Religion, Social Distortion, all that stuff. And I think it was Rancid that really hooked me when they started playing Salvation. I got really into that. And it kind of went on from there. I mean, well, of course, the first punk album that I bought was Green Day, but I don't even think at the time that I knew that was punk rock at all.
Yeah, it's just songs you like.
Yeah, exactly. And then that progressed to I don't know. I wanted something kind of a little tougher, and I found Rancid, which was just a tiny bit tougher, and then I just went from there. Like it was. Got into Rancid, and then a friend of mine was like, "Oh, well, you should check out the band that these dudes were in before, or a couple of the dudes were in before, Operation Ivy." I was like, "Wow, this is great," and so it just went on from there. Then like the standard, punk rock starter kit stuff, like Dead Kennedys, Misfits, and all that. But let's see.
We got to make that meme, punk rock starter kit.
But so in right around that time, I was getting into that stuff when I was in middle school with a friend of mine, Hector Romero, who was in Light the Sky and Running Late.
Shout out to Hector Romero.
Oh, wrong one. Damn it.
I didn't even fuck up this time. That was you.
So we were friends in middle school, and we were gotten this stuff to get into that stuff together. He started playing guitar. I started kind of playing bass a little bit. He got into a band when he started a band when he got to high school, and we didn't end up going to the same high school. I went to Don Bosco for 3 years. Which was terrible. Really bad experience. Awful. Hated that place.
No chicks.
No, it's it was so lame. Like when you get a bunch of guys all together that are teen guys all together, and there's no women around to kind of keep them in check.
Let's start a gang.
You just get like dudes farting in class all the time and just being obnoxious, and it was fun at first, but then it just gets really exhausting. When you're trying to learn and focus on your education and basically uphold all these Catholic values that were being taught in school. I'm just kidding. But so he got into punk rock when he started going to San Gabriel High School, and turns out that there was a local punk scene, and that I was kind of missing out on by going to another school, even though there were guys there that were a little bit older than me that were kind of involved, but I didn't know what was going on because I was a freshman in high school, and I was removed from my friends that were getting all into that shit. And eventually, like March of my freshman year, I went to my first gig, and it just took off from there. Shortly after that, let's see. So Hector and I went to our very first punk show together. It was like summer of '95. Fast forward to almost like less than a year later, and I'm in a punk band.
Nice. Do you remember who your first gig was?
Wait, the first one that we played?
Yeah, the first one you went to.
Yeah, it was it was kind of like a wannabe Warp Tour. This was when Warp Tour was they were doing like the snowboarding thing, and yeah, and there was one that was called Board in Orange County, and so this was like they were kind of these festivals were just starting to happen. So there was this one that happened in 1995. It was a punk show, and it was called Punk Show 95. It was over at in Blockbuster Pavilion over in Devore, or I guess right around here, yeah. And it was
Blockbuster Pavilion.
Blockbuster Pavilion,
Now
and,
called Netflix Pavilion.
no kidding, really?
No.
Oh wow, okay.
I thought it was still Glen Helen.
I think it is Glen Helen now because there is no Blockbuster.
Yeah, it's been Glen Helen for a long time.
But so yeah, I went with Hector and our friend Julia, who was this riot girl chick that we met. Now I'm gonna get canceled for saying riot girl chick. I shouldn't have said that. This young a teenage riot girl friend of ours. Shout out to Julia. Brr, brr, brr.
I marked it down so I won't.
Wherever you are.
That's how I first.
Is that what you're doing? You're mapping them? Finally, after 10 episodes.
So we went to this festival, and it was bands like Cadillac Tramps, who had just reunited for that show. The Vandals, I think Youth Brigade, I'm not sure. A lot of OC punk bands, Voodoo Glow Skulls. Nice. It was really, really rad. DI. So there was this whole kind of my first exposure to punk rock was this big ass festival. The cool thing about it was the crowd was just rowdy. There were I think Sublime was supposed to play, and they canceled, which thank God. Hot take, I can't stand them. So let's see. Sorry, I'm stoned and I lost my train of thought. So there was this Guttermouth played. They were like one of the last bands, and the singer Mark incited a riot.
Oh shit!
And that shit was going down right as my parents were picking us up from the parking lot. So we were booking it because we had to make it to
fuck Mark, you couldn't have waited.
Yeah, no, or done it a little bit earlier. I don't know. Like I would have wanted to see some of that go down, but we saw like people ripping the rows of seats out and throwing them, and then there was
Is it like an Otto and Snake from The Simpsons?
it was rad. And so footage of this ended up on remember Fox Undercover?
Yeah, you were on there?
Well, not me. But
Remember those punk rock kids these days.
Okay, so they did a whole week on punk rock, right? And the, I guess, first episode or first part of the series was covering that show. And you see like kids hurling stuff at sheriff deputies. It was pretty sweet.
Nice.
But yeah. So that's on YouTube. Like look it up. Fox 11 Undercover Punk. The whole series is just really trippy.
Yeah, I remember they did one on Straight Edge. I was like, these pussies. Later, I would become one. But it was so funny. Like they're trying to make it like violent. But it's like they don't drink alcohol or do drugs, but they'll fight you.
Isn't there a documentary on like I think it's like the Boston straight edge scene or something?
Yeah,
I don't know. Probably that was supposed to be like the toughest one.
Yeah.
Those were the most militant dudes.
I remember watching something on it. I know it wasn't like the news. I gotta find it. I'll text my buddy and figure it out.
How are you not all super into Boston hardcore? All those dudes like hockey and they're straight edge. Like, how is that not your jam?
I don't look good in a flat cap or whatever those are called. A trilby. And I hate the fucking Bruins. You can quote me on that.
But still, I mean, I'd figure you'd be a huge Slapshot fan
Kind of like the Bruins
because of hockey and straight edge.
Yeah,
It's right in your wheelhouse.
yeah. I saw on Hard Times it was like aging punk entering the hockey phase. I was like, God damn it. The whole time I thought, because I got into hockey like right when I got sober, I was like, oh, it's just something that I got into as, you know, I was a little more clear headed to be able to follow some kind of sport, some kind of organized sport. And then I saw that I was like, fuck, I'm just a fucking prototype. Just a basic fucking
hardcore there's nothing special about you. Yeah. You're a dime a dozen.
Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah, you're like you're your own. can't think of the word. You're an archetype.
Yeah, there you go. So, do you remember who you played with in your first? Dude, this is exactly why I wanted to have guests on, because we're talking about how shitty my fucking memory is, and I mean, we've known each other for a long time. We know how fucking dumb I am. It's like people that always like envious of people that can like you remember your first show and everything that happened and all the people that you did it with and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah,
That's why I wanted it to be fucking like recorded, like cataloging it and just cementing it into the ethos of our scene.
Yeah,
So-
we're gonna dig out a hole and put it in concrete, and so
Time capsule.
yeah, time capsule it. Fuck, we could have time capsuled it back then, and we would have opened it up today. And I'm like, oh shit!
could you imagine that,
A bunch
dude?
of demo tapes and stickers from Warped Tour and stuff.
Yeah, old flyers and shit. It's like, I mean, No Snappers is a fucking time capsule. It's fucking awesome. Really glad it's there. But who'd you play with the first show?
Okay, so we did two gigs in one night. We set one up, it was a party that the first dude that sang for the band, James, shout out to Fats. Brr, 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 brr. I guess I don't have to
James?
do brr, 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 right, because
You're doing analog. We're digital now.
yeah. So his brother was having a party at his house, and we played
James?
James.
So Milton?
Yeah. No, was it Milton? Probably Milton. I don't know. He has like two brothers, I think. I don't know. One of them was having a party at his house, and so we played. It was going to be Chocolate playing, and
Sick. Shout out to Chocolate. Or just fucking flip the table.
And I don't remember if they ended up playing. There was like maybe two other bands supposed to play, but we played at that gig, and well, I mean, it was more of a party because when we were playing, it was just like a handful of people. We played there, and then booked it over to this gig in El Monte where we were trying to crash the gig, see if we could play. Whitey, shout out to Whitey, King of San Gabriel, the unofficial mayor of San Gabriel. He
King of the backline, for sure.
Yeah, like he knew everyone, still knows everyone, and was able to get us, I think, get us squeezed into the gig. And so that one we played with Famous Lies, Creep Show, Tangwitch, and those are the ones that I can remember playing with.
That's so weird. I was going to
think
ask you
Gerald was
about
maybe
Famous
too.
Lies. I don't know, like when you mentioned Chocolate, I always think Famous Lies. Damn, they were really good. That
Yeah.
EP was fucking awesome.
Smokes, yeah.
Do you remember who all was in your band at that time?
At the time it was, let's see, it was myself, Whitey, Mike Lai, shout out to Mike Lai.
We got to catch up with that guy.
Oh, he's good. I ran into him at a music festival in August. Ran into him. I think he's living in Silver Lake. He's doing really good. But I ran into him as I was on my way to the restroom. Like I had to pee so bad, and I really wanted to catch up and broke down with him. And he was there with his girlfriend and his girlfriend's sister, and just like hang out. But I was like, dude, great seeing you, but I gotta go. Because it was it was mistimed. It was
He's like, oh, you must be mad because I didn't play the last LDS shows.
no, we're still tight. He's great. He's a good dude. It was him. Our drummer was this guy nicknamed Double Al because his name was actually Alonso.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
That's a hard ass name.
Double Al. And our sorry, our other guitarist was a dude named Dave Lau. Yeah, and then I got kicked out because I was terrible, and then was replaced by this dude James Miyazawa, who ended up being the second vocalist for Famous Lies. Once he joined Famous Lies, or like the I guess version 3.0 or whatever of that band, the guys in my band still wanted to keep playing, and so I weaseled my way back in, and we got another drummer. This metalhead named Ariel, really rad dude. And that was going for a while, and then, but there was, that kind of led to various lineup changes. We were playing with him, and then stopped for a while, and then we got another drummer, and then and then that's when Slug joined the band, and so it was us for a while, and then Ariel was just playing drums in tons of other bands, and he was more. I mean, definitely a metalhead, but which was fun to play with a metal drummer because it really changed our sound a little bit.
Yeah.
But we just couldn't rely on him for shows, and we had to find another drummer, and that didn't work out. So then we ended up with the dude from Tangwich, Mark, who was awesome. I can't believe he was willing to slum it with us, and then broke up, and then got back together, and in various different forms, but for a while it was like a 4-piece, and then James, who was singing originally for like 1 or 2 gigs, came and played guitar with us, and then you played with us for a while. Mm-hmm. You've only done like 4 shows, but have been in the band longer than any other drummer.
I've done all the reunion shows. I was after Joe Glick, right?
Yeah,
it was Joe Glick, and then.
And, Joe Glick, wherever you are, please reach out.
Where in the world is Joe Glick?
No kidding. # find Joe Glick.
All right.
We're back.
Yeah, new neighbors. Congrats.
Yeah, I had my new neighbors come over. And
bearing gifts.
Yeah, Steen and Esteban. And they brought over some banana bourbon. So this will be our first ad read / review. And Eric will try the banana bourbon for us and let us know how it is.
And if you want to get a bottle of yourself, just go to, what are the names?
Steen and Esteban.
SteenandEsteban.com, and make sure you enter in promo code Backline at checkout so you can get 20% off of your first order. That's promo code Backline at StevanandSteen.com.
Nice. That's a good ad read, dude, off the cuff.
Thank you.
It's not even a real company.
Promoting stuff.
That was my first rodeo, dude.
You gonna make this coffee Irish?
No, I got rid of all I drank it down.
Dude, speaking of gifts, dude, Eric, you set the precedent for guest came bearing gifts.
First of all, driving up here.
Yeah.
Second of all, brought a big old bag of pan dulce.
Oh, damn. This is good.
Yeah?
This is nice. I like it. Yeah.
All right. Again, for your banana bourbon needs, SteenandEsteban.com.
Promo code Backline for 20% off of your first order.
Backline 20.
Backline 20.
Swipe up. So yeah, whenever we would get together, we were like, we'd all start talking about where Joe Glick is and what he's been up to. Fucking incredible drummer.
Yeah, really good.
Amazing drummer. I think while he was playing with LDS, he told me he was playing like in some blues bands and stuff, like
King Daddy, I think, was a blues band he was in for a while. Like, really, really versatile drummer, really great guy. Then we just kind of lost touch with him. I think that the first show that you played with us, a reunion show, I remember he came to that and checked that out, and I probably just like super bombed and wait, no, I wasn't that drunk. No, I now remember. Yeah. I just, there was just a lot going on and didn't have a lot of time to chill with him. And that was like the last time I saw him.
Was that at Kelly's Pub show?
It was Kelly's Pub, the first Kelly's Pub show that you played with us. Yeah.
Damn. I remember that show pretty vividly, even though I probably ended up getting pretty bombed that night too. But I was doing double duty. I played because we played with a bitter end.
Yeah.
So I did LDS first. And I remember that changed the way I played so much because Whitey was so militant. I remember we would just be crammed in fucking like which studio at the rehearsals district when we go to
this one was the one that was technically I think in Whittier, so it wasn't adjacent to the Santa Fe Springs rehearsal studio district.
It was a satellite to the Santa Fe rehearsal district. But I remember it would just be fucking like no AC obviously because why would they have AC?
Too loud.
None of them ever do. Yeah. And we would just fucking play the songs over and over and over, and they were so fast, and I fucking loved it. I was just like dripping sweat, and fucking Whitey's like, again. We just fucking keep doing it. And I remember super vividly Ash, the singer for Bitter End, after he's like, why don't you play like that with us? I was just like, dude, it was like, it fucking turned me into like a different drummer. And that was one of those moments where there are certain bands or people you play with that just fucking change you forever. And that was one of them. Fucking loved it.
Oh, I'm glad I could be part of that.
Yeah. I felt like I was in a fight, just fucking playing the songs all fast, blistering my hands and shit. Loved it. It was the best.
Yeah, that was a good gig. I remember that one.
Did you have the shotgun?
The
Yeah,
six shooter. I
that
did,
was-
right?
that was douchey.
What a douche
Yeah,
fan.
that was rad. I don't know why you think it's douchey. I think it's the coolest thing.
We gotta hang that up in here, dude.
I think it burned down. Yeah, what was it? My parents' house, and they had a fire
Oh,
at the
shit.
end of 2019.
I remember you sending me the sad picture of the warped, burnt up drum head.
Yeah, my guitar too. I had found it was a destroyer body, so it's like basically the Ibanez version of an Explorer, and somebody took the neck pickup out and put in a 24 fret Jackson USA neck, and I fucking love the way Jackson USA necks feel. So it was kind of like a Kelly. I don't know if they still make
I
those.
don't know what that is.
It was like the Ibanez Explorer.
I know you're talking about metal guitars. Huh?
Yeah, the dude from Megadeth would play it.
Your old landlord,
Yeah,
or our old landlord. That's right. We
Lenny?
had a room there too. Chris Pollard, Chris something, right?
yeah, Chris at Downtown Rehearsal. Shout out to Downtown Rehearsal. Yeah, but that guitar burned away too.
Jeez, that sucks.
Yeah, but I had put the second, so there were two EMG humbuckers in there.
Oh,
active ones.
man.
Yeah, it's fucking sick. We used to call that guitar. We used to call that guitar the whore because it was mine, but I was playing drums, and they're like, "Why did you buy a fucking guitar?" But it was always around, so whenever anybody needed a guitar, everybody would play that. So we'd bring it to shows in case somebody needed to borrow, in case somebody needed to share the backline.
Hey,
But yeah, I remember Whitey was the king of fucking getting. He was like, when I
still like
started
that.
playing drums, like, hey dude, my buddies, they showed up, they want to play. Is it cool if they use your drum set? He was like the king of that. Like, so knowing Jay telling that story about trying to get on a show that Whitey was playing, it's like, oh, it makes sense. He probably just walked around to everybody like, hey, can they borrow this?
No, well, we were bringing our stuff. We had just come from the first party, and so we just brought all our shit, and because Whitey knows everybody, he schmoozed us into the gig. It was rad.
Nice.
that's one thing I regret not doing while I was playing is like playing 2 shows in one night.
Did that a few times.
Like I could only imagine like the adrenaline after that first show, like after you get off stage and like, especially if you did well, you're like, fuck, I wish I could keep going. Then you drive to the next spot and you play, and that's something I never did. So
Yeah, it would just suck for like as a drummer because you have to like tear down and everything, and then you get fucking exhausted, And then going to the next show, you kind of have to mentally prepare yourself. Just pretend that first show didn't happen.
We did that once when we played a show with you guys. It was a show that we were playing at the Equator 2 in San Gabriel.
Damn.
And then after that, we booked it to go play with a show at somewhere in like the Arcadia Inn or something like that. Or I don't know what this place was. It was
Sounds pretty familiar.
yeah, I think it's like a hotel or something like that, right by the Santa Anita racetrack. And we played there, and I wish we hadn't, because that was one of the unfortunately way too many shows that we played with this one like wannabe Sublime sounding brosif reggae band that Whitey was friends with.
I was gonna say it must have been Whitey's friend.
Whitey's friends, and I won't mention the band's name because because they
Whitey
sound
did
like
have a little like Sublime bro face.
I mean, it's in the name. You kind of expect it to a guy who they call Whitey to kind of be a little broy. I mean, yeah, love the guy. Shout out.
Shout out to Whitey, the mayor of San Gabriel. We should add you both on it. So we'll do another episode with both of you.
King of the San Gabriel Valley.
Dude, it's crazy. So you're mentioning like all these places, and we were driving through Whittier a couple days ago, and we're like, damn, Whittier needs like a venue. Like now, all these places that you guys talked about, like, I doubt they're still around.
I don't think Whittier would have a venue. I think the closest it's ever been is like coffee shops doing shows or whatever. But I think the city probably just like wouldn't allow it. I remember hearing something about someone trying to put a venue together in I guess some abandoned, or not abandoned, but like vacant. I think it was like a thrift store or something like that in Uptown Whittier, and they just couldn't get it to happen.
Like a building that would be perfect for just a fucking empty room.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going to a show in Uptown. It was at like a dance studio. Not the big one on Philadelphia, but it was on Greenleaf. They had like all these giant. It was a metal show, but they had giant mirrors. I'm like, oh, something bad's gonna happen here. I think it was Antagonist was playing that show.
Oh, cool. So did anyone get slammed into one of the mirrors?
No, I don't think so. Not that I remember. But thinking back, like Whittier had the Blue Note Cafe was on Washington. That they played like it was like a coffee shop in the front, and then just like a parking or not a park, but like an automotive garage almost, like that size. And bands just played there. A lot of fights there. Where else?
Skateland.
Skateland.
Oh wow, yeah.
We drove past it, and he's like, "Oh,
That's not even
Skateland's
there
this
anymore.
building right here." It was like an empty lot or something.
Yeah. The Red Cross. The second floor of the Red Cross. A lot of shows there.
No kidding.
Green Turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Green Turtle's for sale. I said we should buy it, dude.
We drove past those for sale. It's like, you're not down to buy the Green Turtle.
Like the only bar in Whittier that's open past 11:30 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what happened with the. I wish we could have the Equator on as a guest. So much shit happened there. So much shit started there. I was like, that was pretty insane. I remember the first show we threw there. It was, what you remember, Rochelle. She was like the owner, right?
Yeah, or the manager or whatever.
Yeah. And our friend Adeseli's, she was like, "Oh, my friend wants to know if your band wants to play here, or whatever." I was like, "Cool, show." So I was you guys, right? I don't know. I just invited a bunch of friends, like bands that I knew, and we threw a whole show. And I remember Rochelle was back there. She's like, "What the fuck? Who are all these people?" We just like crammed it, dude. And then a pit started, and then she was trying to like, because there was a bunch of like
Cabinets, like China cabinets.
Cabinets. Yeah, China Hut. Your China Hutch. So she was trying to keep people from knocking into them, and then she like was getting fucking bounced around and stuff. And I heard Sally's was like, she's mad at me. What the fuck did you do? I was like, you told me to show.
This is what happens.
I was like,
it's a success. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean? Look at all these people. I was like, a ton of kids there. And then, so she was mad that night, but after she's like, can you guys do that again? And then we went, and that room was cleared out, and fucking, they put a stage up and everything. And then I remember they had like, Ryan would do sound because he bought Ryan, you might know him as PogChamp. But,
are we talking about him? Are we bringing him up?
I want to get him on.
I don't want to get. Do you want to get canceled?
He's canceled. We're not canceled.
Yeah, there you go.
I would still love to get him on because we did so much shit together back then.
Indeed, you think of PogChamp, you think of him. So, and I come from Twitch. Like I was a Twitch streamer before I started work. Before I had twins, I was streaming a lot. So like I was there when all this shit was going down. But
yeah, so. Yeah, PogChamp did a lot for our band and for that scene.
Totally.
So at one point he had like a fucking
shout
out to PogChamp.
Oh, is that going to get me canceled?
Our good friend Ryan.
Okay. It's been what, 2 years now? We're good, right? Statute of limitations on cancellations.
I mean, well, the era of him that we're talking about was
Totally different, dude.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, he recorded us and everything. He recorded the band. He started a record company so we can do all that. But yeah, he had like a soundboard in the corner and stuff, and like mic'd up the drums and everything. Like we fucking, that place was legit for a while. But same thing, city came in and was like, "Fuck, are all these kids doing?"
Oh, is that
here?
what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, ended up having to just close up shop.
Stupid kids.
But I think it's just any of that like DIY venue, because it was a coffee shop. It wasn't a venue.
It's pretty good.
All that stuff just ends up getting shut down by the cities.
Offer code backline to get 20% off. 20% off your first order.
All right,
we're
so
just gonna-
official review.
We're just gonna have you come in and read ads once we get them.
Oh man, this is good. Shout out to your neighbors. Real
Review?
hospitable folks.
Review.
Well, I mean, it's not overwhelmingly banana-y. It's really subtle, and yeah, it's good. And I like that it's a bourbon with some sediment in it. That's a mark of quality. That's how you know it's some artisanal small batch infused with I don't know, but I like to see stuff floating in it.
He's got a job, man. You're doing all our ad reads once we get them. All the reviews, all the ad reads. They do like, it's like when you get like I don't buy apple cider unless it has the shit on the bottom floating around in it.
And only in the only if it's like in a jug with the little like lupa top.
Yeah,
Whatever.
you can drink it like it's like a reversed. So tell us what you're up to now.
Let's see. So I'm running No Snappers, but I've been busy with a lot busier with work lately. So I've gone down from like posting a post Monday through Friday to sometimes like 3 a week. Because I just super busy with work these days, and so that's what I'm doing. Like I'm well, let's see, myself, Whitey, King of the San Gabriel Valley, and
His fucking ears are burning right now, are on fire.
oh, they always are. I mean, it's Whitey. Everyone knows him. So everyone's always probably.
Everyone's always mentioning.
Exactly.
Somebody's always mentioning Whitey somewhere.
Exactly. Because he's the mayor of San
You
Gabriel
all
Valley.
cracking a cough?
Ooh, wait, wait. Are you making a cocktail, or are you making?
Yeah,
I
what's
put some
DC and
LaCroix for
bourbon?
you.
DDP.
I mean, not DC. DDP. Sorry,
A fresh CDP.
love DDP.
This is turning into like a fucking Joe Rogan.
Where are the cigars at?
Yeah, we're gonna start smoking cigars in a minute.
I'm just kidding. I didn't mean to make a Joe Rogan podcast reference. I've never seen it. I don't. Yeah,
That's real.
that's.
Oh.
I'm too woke for that.
No, it's pretty. This guy put me on Joe Rogan. Now, the more I watch it, I'm like, he doesn't really mean any of the shit he says. He just kind of agrees with whoever's talking, and then everybody just blows up on him.
I was watching it a lot because he had like some really, really good guests, and I think up until the pandemic, or I guess right before he moved to like Austin, right? And that's when the Spotify thing went down. And I think like before that happened, I had already kind of just fallen out of the habit of listening to it, and so I missed out on all of the shit that he's
The controversy.
yeah. Hadn't heard any of that, so I'm totally not caught up on that. But it was good for a while. I liked when he had like Neil deGrasse Tyson on it and shit like that. But
Billy Corgan and shit.
did I listen to that? I'm sure I listened to that one.
Yeah,
like
that was good.
Kevin Smith on there for like 3 hours or yeah.
Those are the best
He
ones.
talks about one thing. Kevin Smith for 3 hours.
Well, yeah, you ask him one question and
He's
that's
like, 3 hours goes by. He's like, what were we talking about?
like in any of the videos that I've ever seen of his Q&As, he only makes it to like 4 questions, if that. Sometimes it's only 3. I was watching. I fell down a YouTube rabbit hole and was watching some Kevin Smith stuff, and it was right around. It was like a couple weeks ago. I just watched Clerks 3, and I guess the YouTube algorithm kind of like popped everything, or like the cookies or whatever on my browser just like loaded up all of this Clerks content on YouTube, and I saw he was doing a Q&A after a screening of the flick, and he did like 36 minutes on just like one question, but it was really good. It was the original script for Clerks 3, like the original idea of it, which was a lot darker movie, a much darker movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn, I want to hear that.
Yeah. A lot more people dying, I think.
Oh shit! Really?
No, I mean, well,
Probably.
Dante still dies, I think. Spoiler. Sorry.
I don't have a button for that.
You do it after. That's where you can do the Tim Allen grunt.
I was like,
We're just talking about a lot of canceled people today.
Yeah, no kidding. Joe Rogan, Tim Allen.
wait, Tim Allen got canceled?
PogChamp.
Supposedly he's like super conservative.
Yeah.
So then when they did that new Buzz Lightyear movie, they used
Chris Evans because he was like way too conservative. I mean, which is weird because he's really conservative for a guy who did time for coke.
Yeah, for like selling coke.
Seems like it'd be a lot more fun of a guy.
Yeah, seems like he wouldn't be really.
Yeah, it seems like he'd be a guy I'd want to hang out with, but turns out no. Turns out like being in jail for dealing coke doesn't make you someone automatically someone that you'd want to hang out with at a party. Because you're likely to turn into Tim Allen. But I guess that's what happens if you combine that with just like I don't know, having a shit ton of money or
privilege.
Something. Yeah.
He's like, jail's not so bad. I was in and out. I got caught with 30 keys.
Got 4 hots in a cot.
I was out before I knew it. I don't know what everybody's complaining about. The cops are pretty cool.
Dude, all right, speaking of jail and stuff, I saw this clip on Cat Williams, and he's doing a radio show in Atlanta, and he just goes off on this host, like roast her like bad, because she's trying to roast him. I guess she's a comedian or something, but he's talking about like I guess like Tiffany Haddish is getting her own special, but so many good female female comedians got passed up, like Monique, she got passed up and stuff and all this. So this radio host just tries to roast him, and he fucking goes off on her, dude.
When was this? What's Cat Williams up to? Did he get canceled?
No.
He says he has 19 felonies.
Holy shit.
Or he had 19 felonies.
So he got canceled from just society.
Yeah. No, dude.
From a legal standpoint.
I'll send you the clip. I'll post a clip down below too. It is insane. Like he just roasts the shit out. Like I wish I could say some of the stuff he was saying to her, but we'll get canceled.
We'll get demonetized.
Yeah.
Like oh no.
Like that shit was
he
wild.
didn't go through the court of popular opinion. He went through the court.
Yeah.
The actual court system.
But
dude, did you cry? We talked about watching this fucking guy made me watch Clerks. No. He's like huge long time fan. Him and his wife are huge fans of Kevin Smith and all his vehicles and TSD and all that.
But also I wasn't really that focused on the movie when I was watching it. I think if I I was kind of doing other stuff. I think it was like designing something, and then I had another screen on showing the
background
flicks.
noise or something.
Yeah, so I think if I had been a little bit more focused, I would have. I don't even. Yeah, I got to watch it again because I didn't even get right away that.
Spoilers.
Oh, yeah, never mind.
No, whatever. Just tell us.
No, it didn't sink in right away that he had died. I thought he was or was dying. I thought he was having like another dream sequence or whatever with her, and like it didn't click that as to what was going down.
But now this guy fucking made me. We were driving, so I just heard the movie basically, and then when that part came on, he's like, "Oh, we got to pull over for this."
I think we're in like the middle of like Victorville or something.
Yeah.
Trying to find the most light so we don't get stabbed or something.
Yeah, we pulled into next to like a Carl's Jr. or something. Yeah, watch it as I'm fucking driving back home. Fuck that guy. Fuck Kevin Smith.
Yeah, but it turns out in the original version, Dante was I think gonna die of cancer.
So darker.
Yeah. but it's really interesting. And then like Randall has a meltdown and becomes this like cult leader or some shit like that. It's really weird and definitely worth a watch. Like check out that video of Kevin Smith giving the down low on what the original Clerks 3 script was going to be.
That'd be cool if he could true romance it and just like sell that script, and then we would know that it was supposed to be Clerks 3, and then somebody makes it a different movie. That'd be fucking cool.
Or if he made it a
just
comic.
made it,
or if he
cartoon
comic book.
Just-
Yeah.
it's like Clerks 3.2. He just makes a different version of it.
Just bring back the Clerks cartoons.
He
dude.
pays for all this shit anyway.
I'm sure they're working on it. I think. I remember hearing on one of his many podcasts that there was talks about the Clerks cartoon doing well. I think if the Clerks movie does well or something like that. And
Nice.
so it's doing well enough to like I guess have the studio or whoever put it out, Legendary, I have no idea, do another movie.
Yeah, we were talking about in the last episode because I wanted to do a like a clip show.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we've only had the 8 episodes. It'd be cool, but it would have been fucking better if we did that on episode number 2. Would have been a little homage to Kev. Fuck, man. Just thinking about the equator and all that shit.
Those are fun shows.
Got the fucking juices flowing.
Oh man, remember when your homie Mitsu's band played and the other dude was recording everything and they kind of went a little too buck wild and were like throwing mics around or something like that, and they got their set cut.
Yeah, wasn't there food involved too?
Like meat, I think, like expired meat or something, or like butcher products. Or,
I just watched that Simpsons episode, the Purple Monkey Dishwasher, and that's what they were called, right? Purple Monkey Dishwasher. That's what they named
No,
it,
they were
man.
called the Sweaters.
Oh, the Sweaters. That's right. I forgot. Why did I get? Somebody had a band named Purple Monkey Dishwasher. Because I was watching that episode. I was like, what the fuck was that?
That's
I
a
thought it
great
was
name
them,
for a
but yeah,
band.
the Sweaters. You're right. Damn, see? Remembers everything.
It's a blessing and a curse, though.
Fucking wake up in a cold sweat just remembering some shit.
The Sweaters.
No good Norman.
God. How do you remember this shit?
It's a blessing and a curse, dude. Like, unfortunately, my memory is really good, so that means I'm also holding on to a lot of trauma because of it.
Fuck yeah. Shout out to Trauma. You're just like unlocking so many core memories, but now we have them recorded.
Yep.
And we can keep them forever. Now I don't have to remember it. I don't have to rely on my shitty fucking memory.
You just got to remember what episode it is.
Yeah.
And then just like, hey, doc, or I mean, even if your therapist isn't a doctor, just call them doc. Here's a link to my podcast episode, and that'll save us a session. Just listen to this, and then
It's like this room is like you're walking into my brain.
Yeah, and you just tell the doctor, like and subscribe. Like I'm going to tell you guys, make sure you like and subscribe. Turn on that bell notification.
Make sure you smash that bell
Smash-
icon so you can
smash
get updated when we post a new video, and click the link here for clips to our clips from this episode.
No clips.
Damn it. We got to make clips.
You have to have a whole separate channel with just share the backline clips.
Yeah, that's true.
Right here. Check this link right here.
It's the idea,
and,
guy.
and also comment below.
And also check out Steen and Esteban's banana bourbon right here.
Offer code backline for 20% off of your first order at Steen and Esteban's bourbon.
Also
Offer
swipe
code No.
Backline.
Backline 20.
Yeah.
No, but for us, like and subscribe. We appreciate it. Follow us on Instagram at Share the Backline, YouTube.com at Share the Backline or / at Share the Back. Just want to get that out there.
Are we up against it?
No, I mean we got time.
Yeah, good time. Yeah.
So we talked about No Snappers before on this podcast a couple times.
Thanks for the shout out.
Just explain it to everybody, like as if you're just like explaining it to somebody who has no idea. What
Okay, so it's on Instagram, and Instagram is a social media platform that allows
Not that far,
users.
not that
Oh, okay, all right.
You're explaining it to my brother, not my grandma.
We're explaining the tape adapters. You can't even plug shit in your phone anymore.
Okay, so
Your TV setup.
I'm not even gonna try to explain that to you guys. How this is working.
It just is.
So it's an archive of flyers, pictures, videos, music, or whatever from the San Gabriel Valley punk scene, dating back from late '70s to the 2000s. So really nothing after 2010. And so every post kind of goes in a sequence. It's usually an 80s post, or very late 70s, a 90s post, and a 2000s post, and then it'll kind of rotate like that. So yeah, like I said, I'll throw up clips from videos that people have posted on YouTube, or flyers that people have pictures of flyers that people have sent to me, because it turns out a lot of people, and I'm really, really thankful for it, a lot of people have held on to their flyers from way back then. So
it's incredible.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is submitted by the peeps that follow.
Yeah, those handmade flyers are legit. Like, I remember getting them in school, because I was into a lot of like metal, like everything from Metallica to like death metal, black metal, and there was one house on Garfield, and I think it's Ferguson, that always threw metal shows.
Tight,
but they would always hand-drawn flyers all the time, and those were legit. But always crumpled up, because you just get it, put it in your pocket, get home, oh shit, I can do this tonight. But,
Jude,
excuse me, sorry.
well, you guys can go to No Snappers SGV
right
on Instagram and look at the flyers. But the ones that fucking, first of all, it fucking blows my mind that you're doing it, and I fucking appreciate that.
Is your brain
you're
blown
doing
out?
it. Yeah, it fucking blew my brains out when I first saw it. Just like, what a great fucking idea it was, first of all. And I was gonna ask how you get all that shit. And that's cool. I was gonna ask you, like, if you've built enough of a following where people are just like, oh, I'm gonna fucking
totally.
send
And
this over.
it's great, because otherwise it would just be the same like batch of flyers that I have, and it's
that
all
you found.
Yeah, and it would be kind of shitty, because it's all bands. I mean, shows that my band played, and that would make it seem like we were the biggest fucking band in the San Gabriel.
It's like we all play with the
which
same
we were
5
not.
bands.
And so, like, yeah, in the beginning of the when you introed me, you were like, "Oh yeah, he was a huge part of the San Gabriel Valley Punk scene." I was like, "Am I really? Was I? No. We were like, we were just happy to be there, I guess."
Well, let me go. Well, when I started playing with you guys, it was like a fucking dream come true, because looking back at those flyers, like you said, the hand-drawn ones, it would have, like, on the corner of it, you'll have like the street,
Yeah,
and
little
then
map.
yeah, they'll like draw the house and then the street names and stuff. And I remember walking around as a kid, there weren't cell phones back then, so I was like 13 years old, walking the streets at night, and with some of my friends, and then we see other punk kids walking down the street or getting off the bus or whatever, like, hey, where's the gig at? Where's the gig at? And then, like, they would pull out your fucking flyer and your map and shit, like a treasure map. And we would compare maps. Like, do you know where this street is? And we'd have to go, like, listen.
Oh,
like,
that
it's
was
on
the
other
best.
street.
Like, or when
You follow the cop
when
cars.
you yeah, no kidding, right?
Where's the helicopter?
Or when you were with someone who was driving, and you would just drive around and just listen for drums.
Yeah. Or feedback, or you see where people are walking in and out of, and then you're, oh, it's right there. Speaking of driving, dude, I have this picture on my Facebook. It must have been, I think it was after 2012, because I think I was sober at the time. So you'd pick me up in the Bronco, and this fucking guy, it was 2012, 13, and he had fucking MapQuest directions.
I picked you up for practice, and I had printed out MapQuest directions from
in 2013.
It was something, yeah.
for those that don't know, there was a website named mapquest.com that you could. It's like Google Maps, but you print it out step by step.
So it's all your directions, but you couldn't take them with you, so you had to print them out. So I get in there and I like set my stuff down and I look over like, what the fuck?
And I'm
is
reading
that,
I'm reading a
dude?
printout of directions. Well, so
He had the light on, the dome light. The directions. I was like, fucking blew my brains completely out of my head. I took a picture and posted it.
Motherfucker. At that time, like I barely had a smartphone though. That was a thing. And it was like it wasn't smart.
It was like 10 years after smartphones came out.
No, I mean I don't even think it was. It was not even like a Samsung or an Apple. It was like I don't know, but it was barely a smartphone. It was like not smart, but just kind of barely aware phone.
It was just cool because you were like, I was fucking transported back in time. So you had to fucking.
Then he took a picture. Then he took a
like
picture. Then he took a picture
Bronco.
of my printout, and then posted
my
on
phone.
Instagram
Immediately.
And
I
then it was like, look at this,
because I
look at
have
this
the
old
internet on
man.
my phone. And then he fucking pulled the visor down, pulled the CD out. When did you get the CD player? When we got the money. But anyway, going back to, but those days I remember seeing flyers that said LDS, and it was just like we would, as 13-year-old kids, we would talk about this band LDS, and we would walk around to the shows, holding the flyers, trying to find the house where fucking LDS was playing, and and then meeting Gil after, and then he was like, yeah, I know LDS, and then that's when we started like playing shows together and stuff. This was before I started playing. So once I started playing and then meeting the other bands and like having LDS play a show that I set up was just fucking incredible. And just from being a fan, and like meeting Whitey for the first time. Cause even as a kid, I heard about Whitey because people would fucking talk about him. His ears were always
Mayor of San Gabriel Valley.
He was born with his ears burning.
They're constantly burning.
And Slug and James and all those guys that have been part of LDS at one point or another. So when I got the fucking call, by then we were already all friends and stuff. We'd played a lot of shows together, but when I got the call to fucking actually sit down and
it also
play
just
the
made
drums,
the
I was
most
like,
sense too.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but just being there and for it to make sense. So just have fucking O'Brien play the drum.
It's hard. Like
Who else? Yeah. But yeah, it was just it was a big part of me. In the first episode, we talked about like the huge bands that made it. They always get that the royal treatment of like fucking VH1 specials and shit. And but we were touched by a lot of bands like you guys, like LDS. Like us, because I'm technically still the drummer.
Yeah. I mean, we technically haven't broken up.
Yeah,
It's a hiatus.
we just haven't played.
Yeah.
We just gotta get James or Mike back on. Mike Lai, where are you? No, we know exactly where he is.
Chilling in
He's-
Silver Lake.
yeah, but
he's
he's-
doing crazy PA work or whatever he's doing.
He's like
Always posting rad pictures of being on location on some set.
Yeah. He's not going to strap the guitar back on.
No. I doubt he even has a guitar.
He's moved on to bigger, better things.
Totally.
He was a really good fucking guitar player.
Yeah. I remember he had that, it was like a gold top Les Paul or something like that. Like kind of the Slash one, but not that model. But
Yeah.
that shit was sweet.
Such a cool Les Paul. Dude, I just realized what we're going to play at the end of the podcast of this episode. The Equator. The Equator set.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Mike Lai's banter.
Oh, God.
That was the
Banter was
best, dude.
Genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. I think some of my favorite memories of playing aren't actually during the actual songs. It's just
Just the shit Mike says. The shit you and Mike say between songs. And like him playing the songs completely different, fucking blowing Whitey's brains out. It's so funny because he wanted it to be so perfect every time, but then fucking Mike would just like fucking crush a 12-pack outside before every show.
I mean, that's what we did.
He would like come play the show from a party and then just fucking get on there. And but he was so good where it was like he would fucking just kind of riff during the songs, and it would sound incredible because Joe Glick was so tight. He was just always on.
God, Joe Glick.
Mike could fucking do anything. He could play whatever he wanted, and you would know your parts, and you would come in at the right points, and Mike would just have a blast.
But yeah, that pre-show stuff was fun.
So Whitey and Joe Glick were just fucking always locked in.
Super solid.
So you guys were able to do any kind of drug before. Drink anything. Take anything before you guys play.
I found this out the first night that I played with LDS, the second gig. After like maybe 1 or 2 cups of beer or whatever, if I jump around and I'm trying to do the band thing, it'll make me want to throw up. Like I can't drink and I can't have, well, at least beer. I can't have beer before we play.
Because you're shaking up though.
Yeah, and it just like makes me want to puke during the set. Yeah, and it just,
is that the new mic stand?
Yeah. Just
Dude, you know how to work a mic stand.
and it just makes me want to.
All right, hold on. Spin the bottle. Spin the bottle. The other way. The other way.
Oh, you don't want to get the ASMR of the.
Welcome back to our ASMR channel. We're gonna.
I don't even remember what I was saying.
Yeah, you would puke on stage after having 2 beers.
So like it was before the dude
just
from the
throw 'em in
Used
your
was
pocket?
doing it. Yeah. So yeah, like I at the most maybe
Pre-Burt.
like I'd have a cocktail or whatever, but I would smoke weed before we played, but a beer or 2 before we played, just like ever since I was a kid, and it holds true now. Not a good idea.
I remember, speaking of the Used, I remember Gil. Shout out to Gil. He's probably gonna be our next guest. But he was like, "Oh, this singer Bert from this band, The Used. He screams so hard he throws up on stage." And I was like, "Ugh." Why do you want to see that? And then we ended up seeing him like at a small stage at Warped, one of the early ones. Yeah, fuck it, just screams like puke. Nasty.
yeah, it's gross.
So nasty.
So nasty.
Oh, you're gonna have to cut that out. We shouldn't.
That's just an SGV thing.
It is.
I'm not cutting anything out.
You know, if you grew up with SGV, you know what's up.
You know, it's something.
All your best friends are Asian.
All your best friends are Asian, and you've been drinking,
All your bandmates have been
and you've been drinking
Asian.
boba since like the mid '90s when everyone else was catching on to it in like the early 2000s.
You know how to
whatever.
drive over a speed bump without scraping the bottom of your car.
You've been down with pho since like way before everyone else was.
Mm-hmm. You pronounce it pho.
Yeah,
not
pho.
not pretentiously. And you know how to dip the. I don't even do it anymore. Cook the meat in there.
That's right, dog.
You crack the egg in your fucking in your cup of noodles.
Oh, that's hardcore. That's how you know that. That's just prevalent among anyone that's from the SGV. I think
I
that is
my tortillas with chopsticks, dude.
that's a pro move.
He eats his panda with chopsticks.
Yeah, I eat nachos with chopsticks.
Oh, that's a genius move. Yeah. That's a life hack.
Dude, can I park here for a minute? That whole argument of like, just use a fork. A fork's way better. It's not. If you know how to use chopsticks, chopsticks are fucking just way better than anything. I was watching a Seinfeld episode and he's like, yeah, and then they don't realize the fork's been invented. Like old farmers like using chopsticks and then they go and fork the hay with a fork. It's like, but chopsticks would be like, if you could take your arms like this and grab the hay like that, you know, if your arms could grow out to be like fucking 20 feet tall, it would be much easier to just grab everything like that and not fucking get your fucking hands dirty.
Well, that, and it is a little slower of a process when you're eating with chopsticks versus a fork. And I eat really fast and I eat a lot, and probably would do me some good to have every meal with chopsticks. That would slow me down a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Probably,
especially before a show, then you won't throw up.
Yeah.
You have any questions for our guest here, Eric?
Yeah, just curious. Like, you talked about not being able to drink beer before. Like, did you have any other pre-show rituals? Yeah, I'm rich. Thank you.
So there was, I did like, let's see, in the, I guess before we kind of went on a really, really long hiatus in the early 2000s, like around 2002 or 3, I thought it was a good idea to make in order to make my voice sound rougher, to have a cigarette before we played, which was not a good idea.
Just dries you out and everything.
Yeah.
So I've heard.
And so now I don't do any. I don't prep before shows. I'm terrible at it, and I don't take care of my voice because I'm just I just yell into a mic while more competent people are playing their instruments behind me. So yeah, I'm not really doing any vocal warm ups these days. And I mean I had let's see. There was this one time that we played with at the Showcase Theater with
Shout out to Showcase.
shout out to the Showcase.
For sure, shout out.
We played with this one band, Meet the Virus, who were it was kind of a version of this band, Naked Aggression. Their guitarist had passed away, and so the remaining members kind of formed a new band, but that eventually became Naked Aggression again. But this time they were called Meet the Virus, and we played with them. And I had gotten a couple of tips from their singer, who was really rad singer, Kirsten Patches. Just has an amazing, phenomenal voice. Turns out I think her parents were opera singers, I think, and so she had some training. So she had taught me a couple of things like breathing exercises to do before, and I would do. I started to do that a little bit, but yeah, I never kept up with anything, and to make sure that I didn't go hoarse like halfway through the set. And after a while, I got, it was just after doing it improperly for so long, I was just able to do it for an entire set. But now,
power through.
Yeah, but now, like with the thing that I'm doing now with Whitey and some of the dudes that were in Tangwich, we have a cover band where we cover songs from 90s punk label compilations, and we're called
Sorry.
oh, is that going off?
Yeah.
What's up?
I think it said
Batteries out, right?
No, memory card full. That's fine. We don't need mine. I'll just talk to the middle one.
All right.
My bad.
Oh, so that stuff is a lot more, melodic, epitaph, Fat Record kind of skate punk stuff, and it's not as, I guess, tough on my voice. And I thought I'd be able to get through an entire set without going hoarse, but we did one show, and I think I made it like halfway through, and the rest of the set I was just like struggling to get through. But it's
You just do that thing and you hold the mic out.
well, that and also there are a bunch of covers, and
Some
so
people already know the songs.
we hope so, and so ideally if there is a crowd in front of us, I could do that, but that's a long reach when people are just like standing way out in the back
At the bar.
because you're way too cool to be up front like we all do. Like, I mean, I'm guilty of it too.
Come to the front, goddamn! If you're at a show, get up close to the band so this guy doesn't have to sing the entire song. Speaking of archetypes, it's like, I don't know. I just sing the songs. The other guys play the songs.
But yeah, so we do a bunch of, like I said, covers from the 90s punk label comps that a lot of us grew up with, Punk O Rama comps, Fat Records comps,
Fearless.
and Nitro, the Nitro comps. So we have a pretty solid set down. So if
I
anyone
remember
wants
when we went to the movies pop up and you told me that idea. I was like, "Fuck, that's great." It's so
if
awesome.
anyone wants to book if anyone wants to like get all deep in their 90s nostalgia feels and wants to book a bunch of old dudes that play all these songs from like 30 years ago, then holler.
that were around when the songs came out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was like 5
We're
times 3.
where can they reach out?
Oh, yeah. So we're on Instagram at Jesus Christ. Let me look this up. I think it's It's at fat dot. No, let me see. Let me look this up. Let me see. It is.
While he looks it up, guys, it's going to be at the bottom of the description
Right here.
or right here.
And also,
Look, now he has 2 smartphones that can guide him
this one's
places.
let me see.
He went from printing MapQuest maps.
I know to fat.o.rama. Rama. So we're on Instagram, and I think that's the only socials that we're on.
Do you hear that static?
Yeah.
Oh, it's from the phone. Damn, that's old school. Remember you put
You
your
put a
phone
guitar?
on top of the... Yeah.
But the pickups.
Oh, somebody's getting a phone call. You guys know what we're talking about. If you ever played, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, we ran out of memory on one card, I guess. That's probably my bad.
Yeah, you're just talking to that one.
Yeah. Dude, I think that's it. We really appreciate you coming up.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
First guest. It's going to be a learning experience for both of us, you know, like growing as podcasters. So we really do appreciate it.
Remembering fresh memory cards.
I hope I make it down the mountain after this. This may be my last podcast appearance.
No, don't drink and drive, guys.
That's offer code backline20 at checkout for 20% off of your first order from Estevan and Estevan.
Estevan and Steen.
Estevan and Steen bourbon.com. That's offer code promo. And make sure you hit the link in the description right here for 20% off of your first order from Steen. Whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
That's going to be our secret merch website launch.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I can't wait till
my
you guys
neighbors
collab
find
with
it. They're
them.
like, "What the fuck are you guys doing? Is this us?" You gotta go back and listen.
You
to
set up a
episodes.
website for them and an Instagram account, and they're just having all
getting-
these orders.
They're just getting checks in their fucking mail.
They have to fulfill them all. Hype them up.
He's like, I gotta buy
It's
more
not gonna-
jars.
hey, can you make like 100 of these?
We did a thing. You gotta make 100 of these.
Congratulations, your success. You're welcome.
Way more successful than this podcast.
Thanks for sponsoring us.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much, though, for coming up here and doing
Thanks
this
for having me. This is
and
awesome.
fucking setting the tone. You hear that? Next guest.
That's right. You got a lot to live up to.
You got to do.
You have to ramble a little less and say maybe 2 or 3 less ums when you're talking.
No, that was perfect.
Yeah, it was really good.
Thank you.
Said a lot less than we do.
Trying to get those make sure I don't have those filler words in my vocabulary anymore when I'm on the mic.
Though one of the things that I always notice is like I'll start laughing before I say a joke or something because it's like I'm making myself laugh in my head. And somebody pointed that out to me a long time ago, so I'm always conscious of it. So I'm like, all right, I'm being an idiot. Like, it's like I don't stop. I still do it, but just like in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm doing it. I hate myself. Yeah.
You got anything else, dude?
No, good.
Okay, so that's at
Yeah, drop
at
your socials.
No Snappers SGV for the for the punk rock bullshit, and also I occasionally post like graphic design bullshit or drawings or like whatever on my own Instagram. That's link in the description. Eric D Valdez at Eric D Valdez on Instagram. But usually it's just pictures or videos from shows that I go to.
Yeah, if you guys saw that episode where I was wearing the Good Grief Minor Threat Peanuts Gang mashup shirt, he made that.
Yeah, I occasionally post a bunch of stupid shit on my Instagram. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and to smash that notification bell so you can find out when we upload a new episode.
Third guy now.
Link in description, and hit this link right here for clips from this episode, and we'll catch you next time on Share the Backline.
Oh shit, dude.
Good.
So it's good. Now I got to make a clips channel.
Yeah.
He's just like you, putting more shit on my plate. No, but we appreciate you. We also appreciate. Fuck, I did it again. I know that.
I'm just kidding.
Dick. I did that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Hope you're having a great morning, great afternoon, great evening.
Yeah, have one of those.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Peace.
We got 2 songs left. Two fucking
Man.
fucking songs, dude. I'm barely learning how to speak English.
I bet the fucking bands that we're playing with at the Battle of Bands aren't fucking worried about us at all. So almost home and leftovers, you guys that don't have shit to worry about. Song's called Anti-Authority.
Stick around for a bitter end.
We gotta take.
Winter Skinner's rocking right here. I want to thank the Equator for having great shows. I'm gonna miss this place.
Yeah, we gotta take off. We got another show to play.
Dude, what a dick, dude.
No, we'd love it if you guys would come with us, but we'd love it even more if you'd fucking stick around and support our good friends at Bitter End. Because after all, this is their CD release show.
When my eyes are stretched this far, it means I'm ready.
Dude, I hope we're not this bad at the next show. Seriously. We'll let you know when we're ready, dude.
I got caught again, dude. Fuck! It sucks being Asian, fucking Asian guy, period. Fuck. I don't know where I was going with that, dude. Dave, step in. Fuck, dude. This guy's lucky because he's hung like a horse.
And fucking, you know, Mike knows for sure.